What's going on? Welcome to a very special Now to Play Games. I am one of your hosts, John, and with me, we got the whole Now to Play Games crew. There's Finn.
Hi, official co-streamer of the Game Awards right here. Hi, how's it going?
Keith.
Hi.
I don't, what? Tim.
Hey.
And I will officially admit, probably the winner of the Now to Play Games 2021 Fantasy League.
Oh, there is
it's
no
Rose.
probably about this. I have won fair and square. Let's not even play.
I was a jackass, and I claimed that I was the winner, and then I lost little points through the
And then the
rest of the
points
month.
kept on coming in, and I got more.
Yeah.
I need an
When Jammers 2
animation
comes
of
out
John
in
doing
January, guys, like,
Hey, there's still one more day for FF16, Little Devil Inside, and Silk Song to come out.
There's still time. There's still time for stuff to come out and just shake everything up. Welcome. I hope everyone is having a great Christmas holiday season, and welcome to 2022. Ladies, gentlemen, how has your break been? I know we've been off a couple weeks, and this is the first stream back, or first podcast back in 2022. How's your holidays been?
good. Finally got some quality time with the PS5. For those who don't know, I moved between two different locations, mostly up at my place where I go to uni, and then when I have off days or like weekends, I come home. And I haven't been home in a very long time because I've been stressed, and my PS5 is at home. So I booted up a few games. I've been working on the platinum for Celeste, a game I've completed before, but I've never gotten platinum in. And I have also started a few hours of Tales of Arise.
Ooh.
Oh.
The worst game of the year.
Oh, God, you said the words.
Yeah, the worst one.
I don't know
we all
if this
hit.
means anything. I don't know if Finn, this means anything to you. I'm not even, through the first part of Sysleden. I just got
I'm
into
way
the
behind
city.
you. I'm 2.5 hours in, just barely started it.
It's literally the second area, and I'm still 10 hours in. I've just been doing nothing but running around and doing random stuff in that game.
Right, yeah. I'm trying to get overpowered in that game quickly. Just grinding.
Look, this man, Tim, spent 5 hours trying to beat the first super boss on the hardest difficulty at the lowest level. I'm sitting there Tim, don't. Tim, don't. Just because some guy on YouTube did it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Tim,
Not even for content, just for pride.
no content. I got to do this. Why? Because someone else did it, and I can do it too. Nice. I'm glad everyone's playing games. They got all that stuff. I haven't played games this Christmas.
Also, real fast, I love how Keith is over here going, yeah, the worst game. It wasn't even the first one that got knocked out, man.
It got to the third round. It did well.
It made it past one of my picks.
Hey, I will say it did well for you having nominated it and not being able to say anything about it.
Right.
I was on my pain medication, okay?
Oh my God.
In the middle
There's
of that
an
podcast,
opportunity.
it kicks in, and all of a sudden gravity starts kicking, and I'm like, oh no, I can't talk.
Dude, I had
bud.
food poisoning during that recording.
Yeah, that was really a bad time for most people.
Keith's dying. I'm sitting there. If you watch, we're going to talk about it. If you watch the recording, I get worse through that whole thing. So I start dripping sweat. I had food poisoning.
Yeah, Game of the Year 2022, only 4 of us are making it out.
You see
Oh,
John
God.
start breaking out in sweats and immediately starting to die. Here I am sinking into my chair what's gravity? Can I even talk right now? Am I talking or am I thinking this?
Oh my
If you can't
God.
tell, it's a good video.
It was great. It was actually a lot of fun.
Tim,
All
don't
right.
blurry.
Yep.
With
I'll wait for
that,
my camera to fix itself.
all right, you got some time. I'm going to go through our little thing real fast. With that, welcome to Now to Play Games, your weekly news dump about all the video game news you need to know about. We usually do this live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. British on twitch.tv/Now to Play Games. But with this being a special recorded episode, though, that's here it is. You're on YouTube. So either you're watching this on YouTube, or if you are, go ahead and subscribe. We really want to tell you to go to youtube.com/Now to Play Games. If, though, you're listening to this podcast, that'd be great. Go ahead and actually, I don't know,
Like,
follow, rate, which you can now do on Spotify. Isn't that crazy? Spotify finally allowed you to rate podcasts. So give this Now to Play Games a 5-star rating. Don't forget to do that. Please don't forget to do that. Let's go back to YouTube, though, because I've jumped around and I've lost my spot. I'm going to be absolutely honest with everyone. You need to go to YouTube. You need to subscribe. You need to ring that bell. Why? Because we have this podcast, Now to Play Games. We have the monthly podcast, Playdate, reactions to every video game thing that we will do, and all the fun 2022 stuff that we have planned. So be ready. Now to Play Games is going to kick up into high gear, and it's going to be awesome. You know what? We also want you to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Now to Play Games. Why? Because we think we're cool there, too. You should be cool. Little housekeeping for you guys. Now to Play Games, this podcast will actually be back live Saturday, January 8th. We'll be back full form. It'll be me, Finn, and Rose. So get ready for that. That'll be a lot of fun. We missed hanging out with you guys. And we were just talking about it. Did you know what our game of the year was for Now to Play Games? It was It Takes Two. That's right. I'm telling you right now. Our game of the year was It Takes Two. But the question is, how did we get there? That's what you need to do. You need to go to the YouTube channel and find our game of the year conversation, or as I delicately put it, Battle Royale, and watch us just go to town on each one, all of our picks, our nominations, and see how It Takes Two comes out the victor.
Click that little time card up in the top that will probably recommend that video.
I mean, you can do that too.
Do we do that? Do we have the power to do that? I think I tried that before and it didn't work.
You know what? I'll go in and make sure that's there for you after we're done streaming. I'll make sure the card's there. That way you can jump in around this time on the video.
Guys, if
With all
nothing
that-
else, the link will be in the description below.
The link will be in the description. It'll be great. With all that taken care of, guess what, guys? It's time to load up 2022. But first, we have to look back at 2021. What a year of gaming. Right off the bat, and I have a run of show, but I'm going to ask you guys right now. I kept this private. What do you think? What if you gave 2021 a grade of all of gaming in general? What would it be? Finn, what's your grade of 2021?
7.5.
7.5. Keith?
It was 7.5s are great.
Oh, yeah, 7.5.
I love
is great.
7.5s.
Yeah, 7.5 is a
7.5.
solid year.
Honestly, considering the genres I'm into and what I play, it's been an A+ year for RPGs.
Damn
We've gotten
straight.
like all the good stuff.
Hell yes.
Fantastic.
That's what I like to
Great.
hear.
I went with numbers. I don't regret it. 7.5 out of whatever.
And that's why I did it, because I knew someone's going to be like, 7.5. Just play the games. Tim, what about you?
I have to say, like, there's been movement,
Mhm.
but that movement has definitely come on the heels of, like, massive things pointing out the need for change in the industry.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
like, overall, tonally, I'd give the year, like, a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Because there's been some good progress, but it's coming on the heels of some of the worst things we've seen in the industry so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Rose, what about you?
I have to hit 2 buttons to bring myself back up. So for me, there were a lot of good indies this year. And indie games have been winning so many different people's game of the year. So, I mean, this is like an 8 or a 9 year for me.
All
So-
right. Hell yeah.
Good times.
That's what
It
I
was the
like
year
to
of the
hear.
indie.
Yeah.
Everyone, all the AAAs got delayed. It was the year of delay, and indie stepped up.
Mhm.
And
Agreed.
it was a solid year for everything indie. It was great.
Part of that is
100%. Yeah.
probably because indies are way ahead of AAA on doing shit like working from home.
Yeah, it's a little more. It's more remote. They're able. They understand the culture of how that actually works. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we have had
Smaller
some
teams,
banger.
fewer people that have to get new rigs at their home so that they can work on anything. It's fantastic.
A lot of them probably already freelancers who were doing it anyways.
Adaptability
Yeah.
in the indie space. We love our indies here on Now to Play Games. All right, let's talk about our favorite gaming news story of
Wait,
2021.
wait.
What?
John,
What?
what do you grade this year?
Oh shit. Yeah, I guess I'm the host. I need to give myself a grade. Crap.
Detention.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I think 2021 was a great year. We had the AAA games that came out were absolute bangers. It was a good mixture of AAA, AA, and indie games. I think there was literally something for everyone. whether it was, like we said, we're talking about like Returnal and stuff like that, or you've got Forza. I know Rose is playing The Artful Escape. Like, there was something for everyone, and it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'd give this thing a solid 8. That you should go play games for that happened or that dropped in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
in summary, we have a 6, a 7.5, an 8, a 9, and an A.
Yes, that is Now to Play Games in a nutshell. What the hell
You
are we
said
doing?
grade, not a
This is the full
score.
scale.
I'm
You
sorry.
said
I'm sorry. I
grade.
need to change mine.
God,
I
Go ahead
need
and
to
change it, yes.
change mine.
He's a
Mine
teacher.
this year is rated as a tater tot.
Fine.
what the
Okay.
hell?
I give it 4 cows out of 8.
Wait! I can't
Tater tots are
believe
amazing.
I'm about to do this.
Tater tots are
What is
amazing.
it
They're
on
like-
the pizza
they're like-
grade?
Oh.
What is it on the pizza grade? I cannot believe I'm pulling this one out.
It's the
Give me-
triple
give me-
treat box from Pizza Hut. You got your
like-
pizza, your breadsticks, and your Cinesticks.
It's like spicy chicken, Goodfellas. Yeah. That's what I go for. You know? Nobody's favorite, but fine.
This is why you need to hang out with us here.
This is why we don't
Because
do reviews.
This is
Why we'll never do reviews.
This is we
Okay,
can't.
Google.
tried it.
What's
We tried
it cost to fly to Ireland?
We tried reviews and it did not work. So this is why we do
No,
what we do.
my phone actually recognized it. No, I thought I turned that off.
It's a weird show. It's a goofy
This
show.
is-
It's the end of the year show, everyone.
This is I was gonna say this is the first episode in 2022, and we're starting
By
off
the
up
way,
with a banger.
Everyone on this show is sober.
Yes, we are.
Speak for
And-
yourself.
I was hoping he was gonna do that too.
Speak for yourself. I got rum and Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Sorry,
God, here we go.
Dr.
We
Chasta.
should have said this is gonna be a drunk show, the first
Hey.
one of 2022. God damn it!
At
All right.
least it isn't like last year's E3 bad, where you had to just like drink
the
as
whole
you
thing.
walked off screen.
Right.
2 years ago.
That was,
Yeah,
that
2
was,
years
that
ago.
was
that
many
two?
years
Yeah,
ago.
that was Fallout
That's funny,
76
next
year.
Yeah, I remember that was Fallout 76. I forget when that game came out because I don't care about that game.
Oh, we got so much hate for that from a
Oh,
couple
God, we did.
friends.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
And look how it turned out. Look how, all I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Better idea.
not wrong. We were not wrong on that one.
And like this year, even though it came out tail end of last year, it's still been one of the biggest disappointments of this year. How long ago did I call that CD Projekt Red was going to turn into the next Bethesda?
You
How
did a
long
good
ago
job.
did
I'll
I
give you
call
that one. I'll give that one too.
You were
Yeah,
like
I'll
the
give that
only
one to
one
you.
that was
You were
like,
the
this is
only one.
Cyberpunk. I don't know.
I don't know about this, guys. This cyberpunk
This
thing might
Keanu
not
Reeves.
turn
Yeah,
out.
what's he done for me lately, you know?
I mean, CD Projekt Red was sitting there saying, like, yeah, Keanu Reeves loved the game. He's played it. And then Keanu Reeves getting sued in an interview. It's like, I didn't even touch the game, man.
I haven't even played it. That's a very interesting interview if you actually watch that Keanu Reeves interview about metaverse and stuff like that. But we digress. Guys, come back. Let's do this. Let's talk about our favorite game news story of 2021 as we look behind into the past and see what happened while we get ready to look at 2022. Keith, I'm
Yes.
starting out with you. What is the thing that stood out to you in 2021?
So it is really a collective as a whole. It is
Okay.
that the game industry is slowly starting to recover from COVID. I mean, it's been a rough road, and we're only just now seeing the industry change for the better on, getting to work from home,
Yeah.
better benefits for the general creator, indie game scene really recovering from it, AAA scene just now recovering from it. And they're starting to, progress. And hopefully 2022 is the year that we start seeing things going back into full swing.
Yeah. I know Finn and I we covered Young Horses, and they decided that they're going to go 4-day work week. Yeah. We saw a lot of industry people, companies, the dev companies go to that 4-day work week, which I think is great.
Especially in the indie scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Which is absolutely fantastic. And I agree. I think that's something that we all should probably look toward, maybe if we're in that industry or any kind of industry, to see what it's actually
I
like.
saw a lot of stories in the beginning of the year about that, about like different working from home policies and like sort of hybrid models and 4-day work weeks. I haven't seen as much about it recently. I feel like everyone's sort of settled into a groove, whatever level you're at.
Yeah.
It's sort of also been coupled with the weird like sort of thing with the sort of 2020 bleeding into 2021 But this has been talked about more recently, like sort of the mass exodus of these larger companies from like Ubisoft mainly, but also Activision Blizzard. Also all these other big companies that are like, people are just reassessing their priorities. Like, do I need, like, if I am being forced into the office, like, do I really need that? Or am I gonna, reassess what's important in my life? Am I gonna scale down, go for an indie studio, or go for something that's a bit more remote? So even, from like a just general individual worker standpoint, things seem to be shifting for the better. Well, I guess time will tell.
Mhm.
Yeah, what was it about? I don't remember the numbers, but from Ubisoft, it's like 40 or 60 people have just completely.
It was a ridiculous turnover rate.
It was a lot. Like, just, oh my God, I can't believe. Kudos to you for doing that, because you've assessed everything. But yeah, it is a lot, and you're like, oh God, that's just going to crunch a pipeline for Ubisoft, which. Okay, cool. I'll be honest. What are they making anyway? But yeah, it's going to be interesting how they recover and what they're going to do with that and what's going to get pushed on that one.
And
Tim,
also, let me tell you real quick, as someone who has been regularly looking at applications for this industry, there's a lot of companies, especially like Bandai Namco, where they have listings for remote position work. And in like every single one, the subtext says, this position will be moved back to like in-person work, and you'll be expected to move to the location of the offices if you're remote out of state. Like, it's
right.
They're still way too far behind on this.
Oh yeah.
And there's also the opposite of that. There's like some companies saying, yeah, we're going to allow this remote work, and we'll even send you equipment to work.
Which is the biggest thing that the biggest fault of Nintendo actually this year was, like, they didn't adapt to that work at home concept fast enough, and I still don't think they've done it correctly, and that's why we will probably see more delays coming into 2022 with Nintendo. Actually, everyone, but I would say Nintendo probably is going to be the biggest hit when it comes to delays and what we think is coming out, what might not be coming out when it comes to
not even
Nintendo.
Just Nintendo. It's Japan in general. Japan's like having to close their borders like every 6 months because they open back up because they live off of tourism. So because that's where they make a lot of their money, they open back up, and then things get out of hand and they close again 6 months later.
It's just riding an unfortunate wave of adjustments and making sure that people get taken care of, but also what happens when you, like you said, opening back up too soon and all that stuff. So it's just, it's going to be a giant learning experience for the next couple of years. I'm just going to put it out there for everyone. Tim, what about you, man? What is your thing that stood out in 2021?
So for me, it would be hard to call it a favorite, but it's definitely the thing I've kept my eye on the most, and I feel has had the most impact on the industry at large, which is the situation with Activision Blizzard. Just all of that stuff has led to so much progress, both in like people now demanding more equal rights for workers of different races and genders and sexualities and whatnot, but then also it's pushing people, like we talked about just a minute ago, like fighting for what they actually need, like fair pay across the board, more of that kind of stuff.
Safe work environments.
Yeah. And it's interesting because this is one of the first instances where I feel like I've seen a meaningful impact at the consumer level.
Yeah.
Because we now have like one of the worst performing Call of Duty games of all time. And like, it's not just Activision that's feeling that hit either. Like, World of Warcraft is dying while FF14 balloons.
Yeah.
And even though it's not related, like even Battlefield, this most recent Battlefield tanked.
Did worse than Peppa Pig.
That's in the Metacritic
Peppa Pig's pretty popular. Don't know Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig's pretty popular.
So, like,
I agree with that.
Not only was this, and then the situation with Ubisoft, especially in Montreal, like this has most definitely become not just the year of like a rise of indies, but it has also been the year where we have seen the downfall of most of the major AAA studios that we grew up with.
Crazy.
Like they were throughout all of our lives, basically.
Yeah. No, I agree. I Finn, you can contest this with me or talk about it. God, I just want it to end. Like I'm happy that it's working. I'm happy that we're getting change, but it's like literally what do we talk about weekly on the podcast? It is Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And it I want it to change, and I'm happy to report on it, but I'm also just like, Jesus Christ, please. Like,
Stop digging the hole, please.
yeah,
Can
you have to
can you
put down the
away
shovel sooner or later, right?
Right,
Yeah,
that's
like,
the thing
in
as
my
well.
notes-
It's painstakingly slow progress, and that just happens with things like this naturally. The reason we have to bring it up on the podcast every time is that Activision always fucking steps in it.
Yeah, they
In
always
some-
try to cover it up. And
Yeah.
then because they try to
Completely
cover it
unique
up,
way
they
every
open
week.
something else.
Yeah.
They are the definition of the Simpsons meme of stepping on a rake all over the place.
Yeah, it's Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob. Thank you. I couldn't remember something. Yeah, that's Sideshow
Yeah.
Bob with the rakes all around, and it's Activision Blizzard. That's Sideshow Bob's Activision Blizzard just stepping on everything. And you're like, you have to stop, right? You have to register one time that this is not
And all we
good.
can hope is that one of those wrecks take them out for good.
Yes.
Like,
It's
completely
that,
knocks them out.
it's
Yeah,
that
I mean-
meme of the stick figure guy skateboarding down a ramp on a rake, and he's doing kickflips and stuff, and right at the end, he just lands and hits himself in the face with the rake.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, like, and honestly, at this point, if the end result is Activision just dissolves completely,
That's fine.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind it at this point for all the studios that they've like legit just killed over the years.
Yeah.
Mm.
Finn would get a Crash 5.
I don't care.
That's a
the
lie.
level I'm at.
Yeah,
That's
It's
the
a
level
oh
I'm
my
at.
god. Okay. All right. I'm impressed then.
Also,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter because it's like the good faith they could have had. They killed all those studios. They killed the
They did.
studio behind Tony Hawk. They killed the studio
Yeah.
behind Crash Bandicoot. They killed the studio behind Spyro. Any
Yeah,
of these
they-
beloved properties. They worked on Call of Duty, and guess what? Call of Duty sucks. Another tire to add to the tire fire that is
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard.
They
Yeah,
really
yeah.
could have done the illusion of look at this hand and pay attention to this. All the good stuff that we've actually done, Crash, Tony Hawk, while no one pays attention to this. And they decided just to put it all up in full force and try and cover it up. And that has failed tremendously. So it's been
Massive.
entertaining and sad. Entertaining, sad, and inspiring to watch the fall of Activision Blizzard.
It's laughable how transparent it has been for years.
Yeah.
I try to look at the Activision Blizzard stuff in an uplifting way, sort of like how Tim said, where the bad stuff has been happening for years and years and years. This is now the good part of it, where something is
Yeah.
finally being said and a line in the sand has been drawn almost. And also the obligatory, like every week in this podcast, and we also always kind of mention them, so I feel the need to do it as well, so I brought it up. Fuck Ubisoft as well. It's not
Yes.
just Activision.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
industry
There's a
as
lot of
whole.
companies.
Yeah,
Also
both of them.
Ubisoft. It's
Fuck
a
you
lot
guys.
of companies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I want to say it with the Activision Blizzard, we're actually, and CD Projekt Red and all that stuff, we are actually starting to see consumers making their opinion known with their money.
Yes.
And in the game industries, that hasn't really
the only
been
way.
done. It
Yeah.
hasn't really been done, and it's the only way. I mean, like, sure, I'm a big proponent and supporter of Square Enix, and I know they've done some shifty stuff, but now they're coming out and saying, hey, you know, we're no longer going to tolerate this shit. We're gonna strive to be better. We're
Yeah.
gonna start being like with Yoshida and Business Direction, Business Industries
Division.
3 or Division 3. The sheer amount of transparency is like, yeah, I know I promised you more info on Final Fantasy 16 this year. Sorry, we can't do it. COVID.
I mean,
Right in a public letter out front. The man cried when he had to delay Final Fantasy 14, for Christ's sake.
there's a magical saying that I've talked to everyone about, or you've heard me say, is you fall on the sword.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what he did. And you know what? I guarantee, Finn? No, I'm sorry, not Finn. Keith, you tell me, did it hurt your feelings when he said, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. It didn't. I can't get you Final Fantasy 16. I can't get you any more information.
No, it didn't hurt me. And even when,
Holy hell, it works.
when Final Fantasy 14 had to be delayed for 2 weeks because of quality assurance, it didn't hurt me.
Yeah.
When it came out and we had so many errors because so many people were playing it
Mhm.
and couldn't get in, and even now the queues are still like 2 hours to get in because of server shortages.
And
I
that's
still
with
don't
them
mind.
stopping sale of the game to new
Yeah.
players.
That
And-
blows my mind. That one
and-
blows my mind.
It doesn't bother me. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
I will play when my time is right to play.
Sure.
I know not many people can do it to get up early in the morning to play or stay up late at night and play, but I will play when my time is right to play.
Mm.
And I've made a video on the early start of it being delayed and my opinions on early access and not being able to play. And it's a whatever, man.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you're getting your money right now to be able to play, go ahead and cancel your sub. Don't
Yeah, you
worry.
can
about
always
it. Cancel
up it
yourself.
again.
You can always up it again.
Yep.
And even because of that, they gave 21 days of free game time because of all the issues.
Yeah.
That's millions of customers, 21 days at $15 a piece.
Yep. Doing right by the gamers, man.
Mhm.
It's a hard thing to do, but it pays off in dividends, short term and long term. It's kind of insane, actually, to think about that. Rose, did you have something else?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, with the delays, I hate to bring it up again, but that was another thing with Cyberpunk. Do you guys remember my reaction when they were like, "Hey, we're delaying the game for like 8 months to polish things"?
Mhm.
My reaction was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's like good. That gives me
Yeah,
faith in
yeah.
the game."
Yeah, that was
And
supposed to be
then-
good.
And then as they got further and kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, I'm like, "Oh, they're bullshitting."
Yeah. And that proved to be very true on that one.
Hmm.
All right, Rose. Hard turn for me on this one. What was your favorite story or favorite gaming thing of 2021?
So I had to go back and double check, and I forgot that this was actually this year because it feels like it was 3 years ago. But the death of Mario.
What?
Yeah, back
remember this.
on, I don't know if you guys remember, but back
I
on
remember.
March 31st, Mario died.
The
internet-
collection.
The
The internet
collection
was
died.
set ablaze. That Mario was dying.
Totally
that-
forgot
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, that was this year.
You know why it's so easy to forget about?
The
'Cause
N64
that-
version is on the thing now.
Because-
Yeah.
No, because you can still readily go pick up physical copies
Oh,
of the
yeah.
All-Star
If
Collection.
physical-
in
it's
Oh,
Yeah,
stores
yeah,
right
you
now.
can still find it everywhere, the physical edition, but it's not on the eShop anymore.
Not in the eShop, and you can play Mario 64 if you bump up to the expansion pass.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Still
everyone
broken
mourned
and
Mario
busted.
that day. That was
Yeah.
great.
It just
Aren't
it
they
made me
different
laugh
versions
so much.
though? Isn't there like a weird
Yes,
thing?
they are different. They are different.
They are different
emulations.
versions.
Yeah.
How do they do this every time?
Nintendo, please learn. That's all I want, man. Just
Seriously.
learn.
Seriously.
I
Nintendo
never-
wants your money.
Damn
Oh,
straight.
always. Always.
I
And
don't
they
get
will
it.
tell you exactly what you want in return for your money.
Yep.
It's very important.
I never thought I would see the day where I would hear the words like, "Oh, Banjo-Kazooie is coming to the Switch," and I would go, "That's a shame."
Yeah.
Wow, oh god, that sucks, doesn't it?
Can't I just run Dolphin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That rare replay is 100% worth it. All right, Finn.
Yeah.
Tell me. Tell me your favorite thing of 2021.
Yeah, I was looking back. There was a few different things that caught my eye. Obviously, like the sort of citation to every one of these is like obviously Activision Blizzard is the biggest one. Like,
Yes.
undoubtedly, you have like real journalists like outside of the games industry, like reporting this stuff, like CNN and Wall Street Journal and Washington Post and all these things, and it's like causing like meaningful, like huge change that need to happen for a long time. So obviously that's a big thing. But the other thing that was like sort of to that scale, but also was more fun than anything, was the Epic versus Apple court case.
Yeah.
That was just fun to observe these two behemoths going at it, and all the like documents that came out as a result of that. I don't know if I still don't know how I feel about like the result of that trial. I feel like Apple just completely dominated the verdict, and you can argue whether it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just talking about like the actual process of the trial itself and all the
Yeah.
craziness that ensued, because
Like,
that was
all
so
the
fun to talk
legitimate
about in the
secrets.
podcast. Yeah, all like just candid emails that you always like assumed were happening in the background, but never really like were told about, because the games industry is such like a behind closed doors thing. Like
Yeah.
one of the crazy ones was like PlayStation finally gave into crossplay, but you have to back pay them for any losses they think they're making, or like
Yeah.
Oh god.
Tim Sweeney like on the stand admitting that he doesn't own a PS5, like just weird shit like that.
Didn't they have to define like Agent Banana as well on the
Yeah.
stand? And like
Yeah,
these
so in court
weird
cases
like
you have to, like-
legalese definitions of stuff, and it was just like
He's a fucking
this
banana.
This is what our tax dollars are going through right now here in the States. Like, we're defining Agent Banana.
Court's weird, man.
It is weird. That
there
was
were
a
so
fun
many-
time. That was the glimmer of, oh, this is really, really nice on the podcast. This is really ridiculous. And then Activision Blizzard happened, and now I'm like, God damn, I just kind of wish I was back in Apple versus Epic.
I wish I was back Fortnite dancing in the Apple versus Epic case, man. Now I'm sitting here depressed.
God,
Yeah,
those were good
I
times.
was looking at this earlier just to sort of refresh my memory on the whole thing. And one of the like bigger things that came out of the leaked documents was like the list of like people like in crossovers coming to Fortnite.
Yeah.
And it seems like most of those held true. I think some like one of the ones that stuck out to me that I don't think has happened yet was Ariana Grande. It's coming to Fortnite.
No, that happened.
Did that happen?
Concert.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
she had a concert.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah,
she?
that's what.
Okay,
Yeah, she had a
makes
concert
sense.
there. That's right.
I mean,
And
we got
apparently
the
everyone
Rock in
loved it. It was
Fortnite?
great.
Yeah, the Rock was in the lakes. Spider-Man was in the lakes. So they've been planning those things for a while.
Yeah,
Crazy stuff.
it's insane what kind of leaks
In-
we get and what the information we get out of those leaks.
In a similar vein to that, something that has been plaguing us for this year and last year too, that we finally see a glimmer of hope on, at least stateside, is finally the scalping issue has reached like government court levels of
Yeah,
needing to be handled. So they're finally
the
paying
Grinch
attention
clause
to it.
is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like it's supposed to expand on the ticket scalping laws that we already have.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it
also
was-
interesting as well. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, go ahead first.
Okay.
You might be saying what I'm about to say, so I'll let you go.
Well, no, it was just interesting that you see these like fads come and go in gaming, or like trends, I should say, not really fads, because Battle Royale's still going strong, Fortnite's still going strong. And basically at the peak of Fortnite, we were able to see like raw financial data for Epic Games where we wouldn't have before. And we were able to see just how much money they were making in this behemoth. And also things like what they were using that money for like acquisitions.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting ones was like what they're investing into the Epic Games Store and how that's like making a loss for them, but it doesn't matter because they're making so much money anyway. And we were talking about before the show, we were off air, like Tomb Raider is like the whole trilogy is now like on Epic for free, and we were able to see like all the games that got released in a calendar year for Epic for free and like what they paid for each one. It was so interesting. It was such a look into the games industry that I wish we saw more of. It was so interesting.
How much more of that stuff was public?
Transparency is
for the
important.
like for the longest time, we've always discussed like a lot of E3 is behind closed doors, and for the games industry. Like, when can we, the public, finally start learning so we can make the proper choices on what to support with our money?
But it's interesting too. You bring up a valid point because I mean, you look at it. There's a lot of other things that are like very open and very like here it is. A company buying a company. We all know. Like what was it? Disney bought Marvel for like $4.3 billion or something like that. You can pull up any stat on any sports player and you'll find out how much they're being paid over the year on top of signing bonuses and any kind of like luxuries or anything like that. Let's say a tight end for a football team, if he scores like 22 touchdowns, he's going to get an extra like $10 million or some crap like that. We all know that, but it is so secretive in the gaming industry that it like, it's very fun for us to like see behind the closed doors and see the numbers. I know I've been like praising the, Xbox documentary. That was so fascinating just to see the behind the scenes and the shit that they went through. That was just fun to see that side of it because we only get to see one side and not everything that everyone goes through to make things happen.
Yeah, oddly enough, the only person that we've had like any sort of transparency on what they make is Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh god.
Yeah, generally the distinction is whether the company is publicly traded or not. So things like Activision, Sony, Microsoft, like we have sort of a good estimate. Although Microsoft is weird because it's so big, like gaming is like one line in a spreadsheet, so it's hard to pull a lot. But like Sega and Nintendo and different things like that. But like we get good breakdowns of data. Where Epic's concerned, they're making so much money, but they were still a privately owned company, like not on the stock market at all. So they don't have to disclose that information ever, except it got pulled up in court documents. But like, yeah, the sort of more interesting stuff that we never see was the just candid emails between characters like Phil Spencer and like Steve Jobs and Tim Sweeney, like all communicating back and forth with one another, like completely candidly. And it was interesting. It's just, it was always, I think I described it on the podcast we did whenever we were talking about it, but I was always like, I assumed these things happened, but I never really believed it happened in this way. Like, they were just so, like, just some things. There's, it's a treasure trove. It was an absolute treasure trove of a court case.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I agree. I think it's cool to see all that stuff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it'll never happen, but you know what company's documentation I want to see go public?
Go ahead.
Who?
Tencent.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. That's never happening.
God, that's never happening. That'd be so much fun to dig through all that stuff and see what's happening. That would literally
be like an information nuke.
You just see a globe and a bunch of red dots, like all over the globe, and you're like, oh, God.
It's literally the Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Where he's looking at the map.
I just want to see the map now. I'd be happy with just seeing the map and everything there, and like where do they own what company on what continent, and how much red there actually is in the world.
I just want to see like the accountant like just like come up with a number, and he's like, I don't know. How do I tell? Like, there's too much. I can't pick a number.
It's like that thing we can see like the big brands like Nestle and Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and stuff like that, and see what companies they actually own in a big, massive web that overlaps with everything. Yeah. We can, a lot of the time, except with like Microsoft, we can't really see that too well.
Yeah. You know what, Keith, thank you for setting me up. My thing that stood out for 2020 is Xbox is back, baby! That E3 conference kicked so much ass!
Oh, God, that was tier, baby.
God, it was so good. I had a smile on the entire time. I thought they just were like, you know what? We know everyone was like complaining and concerned about us buying all these different publishers and developers. But guess what? You don't have to be concerned. Here's all of it. Here you go. Enjoy it. This is why you need to come play on Xbox. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
And being totally honest, if it weren't for Xbox, E3 would have sucked this year.
Oh yeah, yes. E3, Xbox's E3 is what saved E3.
I'm gonna be completely honest as well. It's great that Xbox is doing this big push, because look at what we're getting now. Sony is thinking of doing their own Game Pass.
Yep.
And especially Game Pass on PC, merging things with like PlayStation Plus and their PlayStation Now.
I mean,
that's an interesting point. And I want to circle back around to Xbox, but
sure. Let's go.
A good point that was made is that Sony has acquired, I think, 5 studios this year. And it's like, we always talk about it in the podcast whenever it happens, and it's like spread out throughout the year, they don't seem that big, but in total, like, they doubled like their staff, basically. Like Housemarque, Bluepoint, all these smaller studios, like, and a bunch of second-party partnerships along with that. Like, both of these guys are like trying to compete against each other now, trying to scale up.
Yeah, it is literally watching a heavyweight. Like, we always knew that they were the two heavyweights and they were going to trade blows with each other. I always found it weird and interesting that through Xbox acquiring everyone, and everyone was bitching and complaining like, oh God, they're going to screw everything up. But we didn't hear any of that when Sony bought someone. I found the cultural zeitgeist of the difference between what Xbox was and what Sony is just so interesting to see how people like portray them. Of, oh, hey, yeah, Sony bought them. Cool, they're going to make cool games. Oh, Xbox bought so-and-so? Oh, shit, they're screwed now. And now I'm not saying Sony's done anything. So the time will tell with the ones they bought this year. But now, because of the 4-ish years maybe 3 years that Xbox announced everything, now we're seeing like the bearing of the fruits. And everyone's like, oh my God. They like literally, they were like, here's the money, just go make games.
We said it before in the podcast. You just have to look at the Game Awards nominations. Xbox.
Yes.
Far and beyond most nominations from any publisher. And that's just going to keep happening. That has to happen for Xbox Game Pass to be sustained.
Yes.
And that's their plan, by God.
And then we're looking at we're looking at it the same way as a complete and total like UFC or boxing match. Both of these big heavyweights standing face to face saying, well, I got this. Well, I got that. And then you got Nintendo in the background, the retired champ.
I'm going to wait for Nintendo for the next like 2 or 3 years to see what they're going to pull out. Nintendo, I think they're going to do something crazy. That's just me speculating completely. But like we've already seen, Nintendo already showed one thing this year. They can return to the king. Their king has returned. That was Metroid Dread. So
Yeah.
they've
Isn't it
shown
crazy
that they
to
can
think
do
about,
it.
like, that was an apology for the delay of Prime
Oh,
4.
Oh yeah, it was.
And
But
it just
doesn't mean
fucking
that you
killed
cannot
it.
do it again. Does
I
not
think-
mean that. Go ahead.
It's that same thing, you know. You got these two, well, I'm not gonna call them rookies. They're still, you know, heavyweights in the industry. You got Nintendo as the, you know, the retired champ, and both of these people are trying to fight for his belt, his place.
Yeah.
But Nintendo can always has that chance to swoop in and say, "I'm still the champ."
No, it's still
baby."
me.
And I just want to put it into perspective for people, this situation with Dread. That game was on a software list of key DS games to be announced in the future in 2005.
Yes, that's a really, really old, like, callback.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Crazy.
It's insane. I will
I'm
say this:
surprised
Xbox
in
is-
the sorry, just very quickly. I'm
Go,
surprised
go.
in the list of like all our top gaming stories, like the Switch Pro is not mentioned once. Like, there's only so much we can talk about.
Literally, that's the gag now on the podcast. Oh, by the way, Switch Pro is probably coming out next week. There you go. There's the
Yeah,
gag.
right.
But 2022,
I mean, Xbox
though,
is Xbox is so good that I actually got my hands on the second one. So Rose now has an Xbox and is playing Game Pass. I mean, it was just it's too good. It makes too much sense.
I'd
By
love
the
to have
way,
an Xbox, but
Yep.
If we want to talk about like big flexes in the industry, did we forget about Xbox at the Game Awards? And there are just minutes of scrolling free game codes.
Oh yeah,
across everything.
Just take games. Go
Yeah, here you
go
go.
play your games. Bethesda dropping how many games?
a lot.
Oh, Diggy was there.
It was all Skyrim though.
Like everything. Like good on you, Xbox. You're doing good things, and I'm really, really excited to see what you got for the future. Guys, let's talk about. I know we talk about games all the time, but let's just pinpoint specifically your favorite game of 2021. Keith, I know what yours is, and I'm going to give the floor to you and tell me why. Give me more.
Tales of Rise, because it good.
Tim, how about you? What is your favorite game?
I could say Resident Evil 8, but I'm gonna go Ratchet and Clank because it's
No, I just wanted to do that.
That's too
I
harsh.
mean this wholeheartedly, Keith. Do you have anything more? I saw it. I'm like, I have to play
go
this
for it,
bit. Actually, go for it. Tell us about
Tim,
Tales of Arise.
Tim had no reservations about just completely steamrolling over that.
I
to be
wanted
fair,
him to. I set it up like that.
Oh my god, that's so
Uh,
Great.
Bro's over there crying.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's
So to me, it's one of those games that you tend to go into these games saying, "Oh, it's just another RPG where you're going to end up fighting God at some point," because at some point, a JRPG, you're going to end up fighting God. But this one tells like such a great story between the divide in racism and moving forward and what happened after the fight. You know, theorizing, what are you fighting for? What are you going to do afterwards? And there's a character right at the start. I don't want to spoil it, but he says something along the lines of, one character says, "So what do we do afterwards?" And he says, "That's when we can start moving forward. That's when we can, you know, look back on all this and forgive the mistakes of our enemies and move forward with our lives and
Yeah.
stop hating everything."
This dialogue, by the way, literally happens before you've even gotten the third character into your party.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm ready to love this game. Like right now where I'm at, and like there's so much more to go. Like I realize that, but just like 2 hour in impressions, like it's full of tropes and cliches as JRPGs tend to be.
Always.
Like even immediately, I'm like, so we had this weird situation where they've now, if you're in PS Plus, they've allowed you to upgrade Final Fantasy VII that you already got to the PS5 version, but you also have to buy the like
Integrated.
in between DLC. But anyway, I did all that. I upgraded. I bought the DLC. I'm ready to go. But like, I started playing through Tales of Rise and was like, I cannot jump into Final Fantasy VII after playing this game probably, because I'm like already making connections in my head of like the same tropes that I already know exist in Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, I need to take a break in between these two. But
Oh, trust me, I think you'll be good.
yeah,
You'll be good.
even largely just like walking around in Tales of Rise doing combat and just like having a chill time, like it's already fun. And I'm just waiting for the story to catch up with my enjoyment of the mechanics and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, the game's got charm.
Mhm. And to me, it is in one of those, like the several dialogue options you have with your party. You know, I accidentally try to jump in the middle of the field and I activate a skit. I'm sorry, it happens. I know, controller layout weird. But you know, it's a lot of these skits where you see these characters starting to overcome their general racism to other party members because they are from a different race. They're from the invading class, the upper echelon of the people, who, and you see people start to slowly overcome this. Others start to fall in love with each other because they're the only two who can actually touch one another without anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That between what Tim told us during our game of the year and this right here.
I also want to very quickly something from the game of the year video that I now understand having played the game. When Tim was talking about the one-to-one button pressing leading to an action, I get why it's not like that now. I understand. And so I want to retract my statement that was a dumb idea. It's a good idea. And that's just something I remembered. I was like, oh, that's why. And the game gives you the option from that in the start. It gives you all the settings, and you're like, do you want it to be one-to-one, or do you want it to be this? And I was like, I'll go wherever the default is. And I get it now.
There you go. All right, Tim. Tell me your game of the year. Or no. Your favorite game of 2021. I didn't say game of the year. Favorite game of 2021.
So, yeah, and so, completely serious this time, really it is Ratchet and Clank. I love that game. I've been dying for it to come back. I was pretty disappointed with the remake. So, the fact that this... It's funny because they were right when they said that you didn't need to play the older games to play this game. Mm-hmm. But if you have played the older games, then you're just in for treats.
You get so much more when you played the old games.
Yeah. I hadn't played any of the PS3 games. And so when I came into this game, I was like, oh, cool. This is just this really does seem entirely like its own thing, kind of. But then I see little bits and pieces where I'm like, oh, that's them talking about something that happened. Oh, this is a sequel. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then references to other properties that Insomniac doesn't even own.
Yeah.
One of the gold bolts lets you change the bolts into Sly Cooper coins or Zelda rupees or Sunset Overdrive energy juice. Or the God of War treasure chest orbs. The game is just full of love for gaming history, especially within Sony and the games that surrounded Ratchet and Clank in its prime.
Yeah. As someone who's never played the games, but I'm playing Rift Apart right now, it's fantastic. I freaking love it. It's great.
It's a tight game too. It controls tight. It plays extremely clean. I love it.
Yeah,
it's also a good showcase of the haptic feedback. It's not the most extreme showcase, but it's still good.
It checks off every mark when it comes to video games that I really enjoy. Like you said, haptic feedback. The controls are extremely tight. I'm having so much fun playing as Rivet, and just watching her animation of backflipping is just a joy to me as I'm bouncing out of the way.
And character.
It is.
It's great.
Yeah.
And there's also something we like to talk about. We're busy people here.
Yeah.
We have some of us have jobs. I'm not saying I do. But some of us have jobs, some of us have lives, some of us have college. This game only takes 10 to 12 hours of your time.
Yeah.
20 at most.
Super digestible.
Super.
And is also very replayable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's doing something...
No, go ahead.
It's doing something I really like. Is you get the golden bolts, they change features and stuff like that. Some of them will give you infinite ammo. And if you want to use them, the infinite ammo or, infinite charge of whatever does not affect achievements. You can just go in and have fun.
Yeah.
That's what games are all about.
Golden bolts, I said it before on the Game of the Year video, and I'll say it again. One of the golden bolts lets you have damage numbers, and I would have killed for damage numbers in Metroid Dread. Could have changed the whole outcome of that vote. But, Insomniac are great at trophy lists. That's something I want to bring up. Spider-Man Miles Morales,
oh God, yes.
Ratchet and Clank, super great platinums. Just great balance between putting in the investment to get it, but not like abusing your time or whatever.
Mhm.
But if we're taking a look back in the year and we're talking about like PlayStation studios and Xbox studios and first party in general, like to me, I feel like this year truly cemented Insomniac Games as the MVP of PlayStation studios. Like,
Shit,
just
I'll go even
absolutely
further. I'll say the
killing it.
MVP of 2021.
Yeah,
I think Insomniac just nailed it. Like, I think. Go ahead.
I think they're at the top of the industry right now.
Right.
Yes.
I genuinely think so.
Like,
Sucker Punch
Naughty
and
Dog is
Insomniac.
this gem of Sony for a long time, and the Insomniac purchase is pretty recent. But like since then, they think of how much they've done to accelerate the PlayStation brand, to cement the PS5 with both Miles Morales at launch and Ratchet and Clank later down the line. Like,
Yeah.
so incredible what they're able to do.
Insomniac's hit that point where it's like, oh, it's an Insomniac game. Done. I'm buying it. That's where they're at with me. I can't wait for Spider-Man 2, and God, I cannot wait for Wolverine. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I cannot wait for that. I'm so
Mature
excited
rated,
for that.
John.
Oh God. Oh,
I can't
God.
wait for Wolverine to have a specific button prompt to call someone bub.
Oh, that would be great. Or like you
can't wait
you hit
for
the
the
pad and you go into the
trophy that I
pause
have
menu
to-
and he's like, "What do you want, bub? You tell me what you
I
need,
can't
bub."
wait for the trophy that I have to get for the platinum, which is like get like leak X amount of blood just from your enemies. Like that's gonna be a trophy. Like this many liters of blood must be.
Have your
drunk.
adamantium skeleton ripped out is an achievement.
But with Insomniac, like once again, like Ratchet and Clank really surrounds itself with things that were around Ratchet and Clank in its prime.
Mhm.
And it is such a love letter to that time period and
Absolutely.
revives we'll say revives certain series within its own context, even though Insomniac does not own those series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna say Sucker Punch made a really great game last year,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking that Insomniac might inspire Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog to come back to older
The
games.
roots.
Get on it.
I think
get
they
on
should.
it. Sly
Do it.
Cooper. Get on
I'm
it.
down with this. I'm down. I think this would be great. I think this is the time to do it too. I would be 100% on it.
I like neither of those companies have forgotten about those games. Last of Us 2 had a precursor orb in it. Ghost of Tsushima had an achievement for dressing up like Sly Cooper.
Mhm.
Like they have not forgotten those games, and hopefully what Insomniac's done shows them, oh, people will still play these games.
I'll play the fuck out of a Sly Cooper collection or a sequel, whatever you give me.
I haven't
I-
gotten to play any of them, so I would too.
I personally think, looking at this generation, we are pretty much in the 20 years since a lot of these games, nearly 20 years since a lot of these games have released. We are what's in the nostalgia generation for these games. People are looking back on these games fondly and wanting these types of games back. Now is the time to bring them back, revamped, modernized-ish, while still keeping that old school feel.
Yeah.
I'm so
I mean,
happy. This is
Mhm.
like you had like NES like Redux, you had the SNES
Yeah.
Redux, you had different things. Now we're like basically there where you're at the PS1 2 Redux, and I'm living it up right now. It's so good.
Yeah, I see it happening. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Before I move on to Rose and her game that she enjoyed in 2021, I'll say it. Rivet is a cutie. Oh my God, I love her.
Rivet
I love
is
her
so
so
great.
much.
So
She is
likable.
so cute.
Yeah.
And
Just
yeah,
like
it's
you
great.
wanna like hang out with her. She's just
Yeah.
the best. Her quips.
She is like she's so smart and acted so well that you're like, God damn it, this is great. I'm having a great time.
You
Now
know-
I see why Finn loves her.
There,
I do. I love her. She's great.
This makes
Some of
me
the-
think. This makes me think of a bit from the PG-13 version of Deadpool 2,
Oh God.
where what's the actor's name? The guy that played the kid in Princess Bride.
The guy
Fred
that
Savage.
played the kid.
Yeah, like the
What
kid in the
kid?
bed.
Yeah, Fred Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Fred Savage?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Deadpool's got Fred Savage tied to the bed, and he's reading him the script for Deadpool 2. And at some point, Matt Damon appears in the movie, and Fred Savage like stops and he's like, "You got Matt Damon in this shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's locked in the basement." And he's like, "No, I always wanted Matt Damon." And Deadpool's like, "What?" And he goes, "I've always wanted Matt Damon." And So Deadpool like has him keep this conversation going, and every time he says the word Deadpool beeps it out. And at the end he's like, why are you doing that? You're making it sound like I'm saying something bad. Oh, well, what are you saying? I'm saying I want to fight Matt Damon. And that is like our conversations about Rivet is like, you could just bleep certain words out of these conversations and it would just recontextualize the entire thing.
How to play games.
I don't know how I've been tagged with this label of the Rivet simp.
In my full-on defense, I was trying to get you out of it by saying what I said, because I do love her. I think she's great. Because the character design is so smartly done, and I like that she has a robot arm and that she just cares about people. I was trying to help you get out of this. Speaking of getting out of this, Rose, get me out of this now. Get me out of this now.
It's okay, Danny Sexbang. It's okay.
Tell me about your game.
I'm back. So for me, I chose a game that actually did not come out in 2021, but I played it in 2021.
Respect it.
So I went with Superliminal because I love my indies. And so this is a game that is a puzzle adventure, but I felt like it was easy enough that I never got stuck. But I felt really smart the times that I was just like when it took me a little bit longer and then I finally figured it out, or John helped me figure it out, then I got that sense of accomplishment and it was fantastic. And just the messaging behind Superliminal was something that I really needed to hear this year.
Yeah.
When they were talking about just, you have to look at things from a different angle and it's time to start waking up.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Superliminal gets deep, guys. I'm going to be absolutely honest. Like, it was something Rose and I were not expecting. Like, the whole idea, the game is perspective, right?
Yeah. You have to listen to what the narrator is saying because it's all there, but it just hit me right where I needed it this year. Yeah. Runner-up is honestly The Artful Escape, which I'm a little over halfway through right now. So I'm picking 2 games because Superliminal is like 2 to 3 hours long. And The Artful Escape is like 3 to 4 hours long.
There you go.
So just little experiences.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Superliminal, like it tells you everything that you need to know, and then at the very end it goes, oh, by the way, did you register the idea of perspective and what we meant by it when we were saying it about life? And we're like, what the hell? And then we just stopped and we're like, oh yeah, it was that. Holy shit, this game was about life. Oh my God.
That's what I love about. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you go.
You okay. So I was all I was gonna say is I feel like that game in 2 hours probably did it better than The Last of Us 2 did it in like what 20.
Oh my God! Just the shots at Last of Us always when you can.
It was came out in 2020.
It was a completely different message. Why are you bringing in The Last of Us 2?
I mean it from that idea of perspective because that's what I got from Last of Us 2.
Right? Yeah. I get what you're saying. No, I was just gonna say, like, that's why I love indie games so much, is that when you look at AAA industry, like, just because of the nature of it, it has to be everything to all people. Like, Spider-Man has to have a little bit of everything. Call of Duty has to have a little bit of everything. Whereas indie games can take, like, one really good idea and just explore it for 4 to 8 hours and just, like, really, like, hone in on everything it has to do. Like, Superliminal has one very good mechanic, which is, perspective and, like, the illusion of perspective. And it gets to, like, play with that for however long that game is. And, yeah, that's just something I really love about indies.
Yep.
And that's what I like about indies as well is, we can take that concept and, like Celeste, dive into the meaning of, life, death, depression, a whole lot of serious, things that people need to hear these days. We need to hear, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're in that time where, with the past 2-3 years, we have been in this rut of not being able to get out, not being able to do anything, that we need to shift, change perspective, and wake up. And
it was interesting with that as well.
It's okay.
Yeah, I didn't know Superliminal had a message, but, like, sometimes a game just, like, this wasn't a game that came out in 2021. It just hit you at the right time. And sometimes a game just hits you at the perfect time. It leaves an impact.
Something you needed.
And I hate to I'm going to be bringing it up for the longest freaking time. It reminds me of Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah. Get him.
There it is.
Yeah.
Check it off on you.
Oh, yeah.
If you're doing the bingo of now to play games, did Final Fantasy 14 get talked about? Check mark that bad boy.
Go to
We've already done it
finalfantasy.com/now to play games for your 10% off. Like, I wish we had that.
It's like, and I've finally been able to finish the story of Endwalker, and a lot of through that, all through that game, it's like the writers, the devs, and everyone projecting, and you're talking to one of the characters as you're sitting over a bridge overlooking this grand vista, and you're talking, and she turns to you and says, "Are you satisfied with your adventure? Has it?"
No.
And then you get to the final boss. He's lying there, defeated. He's talking to you with his dying breath, and he says, "Has your adventure been fulfilling? Is this the end for you?"
No, cancel subscription.
And no, it was not. I would like a refund, please.
Yeah.
And
God damn, that's deep. I like it. I dig it. 100%.
It hit me so hard. Like, through that whole entire adventure, I've literally been posted it on Twitter. I've been letting out tweets.
He's been letting it out. Love that.
Slowly but
Stealth
surely,
system.
letting out soft tweets.
Soft
Tweets and toots.
Tweets and tweets to general love letters to Square Enix and Yoshi P and the whole entire dev team that this game has made me cry. I didn't know I had that much water in my body to cry this much.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Dehydrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you stay hydrated, everyone.
Thirsty.
Finn,
And
talk
I'll
to me
say-
about your favorite game of 2021.
I feel like I would be a fraud if I said any other way. It's the Now to Play Games 2021 Game of the Year. It's It Takes Two. Purely because of the reasons that I can't think of a game which I've experienced more joy, more laughter, more fun in 2021. Just, it's so, like, we talked about it, like, we had to, like, overly criticize it during the Game of the Year video just because of the nature of that, but yeah, like, because you're experiencing it with a friend, like, some people may not be able to experience it in that way just because of time constraints or whatever, but, like, because you are experiencing it with a friend, the joy is amplified. And, like, me and my friend who played that, which is my best friend in the entire world, we laughed so much in that game, just about nonsense, just about nothing going on in the game. Like, the stuff in the game was funny, the dialogue was funny, but the game is so much more than the sum of its parts, purely because it relies on that connection between you and them.
Yeah.
And yeah, just even from a game's perspective, there's so much variety. Even if it was just like platforming done very well, right? The whole purpose of It Takes Two is, like, you can say so many things, but beyond the story, beyond the different things that it does, it just wants you to play. It just wants you to, like, mess with things and, like, try things and click buttons. And at the end of the day, that's what game's all about. Like, the more interactivity there is, I feel like the fun just bleeds out of the game when you do that. And there was just so much. It was like, again, walking through a theme park. There was just so much to, like, look at and, like, drawing your attention and, like, I want to go on that one. No, that one. No, the minigames and stuff. It was fantastic the whole way through. It was just a joy. It was pure joy.
That theme park analogy is actually 100% correct. I never thought of it that way.
It's a theme park. It's
a theme park of a game. Wow. Yeah, that's great.
You and your friend go to a theme park.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play the game. I don't own it. I do have friends, but there's a lot of time constraints between us, meeting together and playing together. It's one of those things. But I did get to watch John and Rose record.
Oh, you watched a little bit of us recording. That's right. I forgot about that.
And to me, it's one of those games that, amplifies that friendship, that relationship. We may not be the most best of friends. We may be the best of friends, but it's that intermittent connection and cooperation to solve something together and experience it. Yeah. It's not often in a game that isn't a direct multiplayer or an MMO or anything like that allows you to do that connection. That you feel that your direct action influences the action of another player than their reaction to you.
Yeah. It Takes Two for me, real quick, is the game that was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Finn, you'll understand what I'm saying when I say this, and everyone's listening or watching. The cutie scene made me feel like the worst person on the face of this planet.
Which one?
The cutie, the what you had to do with Cutie and the elephant.
Oh,
yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Joseph Ferris, I love you. You're also a monster.
That was, without spoiling anything, that was absolutely hilarious, and me and my friend were wetting ourselves.
It was so good and so bad all at the same time, and I'm like, how the shit am I supposed to feel? And at the end, I felt awful. I felt horrible.
John, the only thing wrong with that whole scene is I wish I could have pressed the button. I wish there was one quick
Oh
time
yeah,
of it.
I know what you want to tell. Yeah, I think Rose and I even were talking like, oh my god, are we gonna have to press the button to do that? Are we? And it doesn't. So I was like, all right, good. But yeah, I thought we were gonna press the button. We're like, oh man, we're going to hell for this one. This is the first game that I'm like, I'm going to hell because I'm actually playing this game. Oh god, it was so good. Please, if you don't, go check out It Takes Two. It is fantastic. It's fun times. For me, mine's Forza Horizon 5. Weirdly enough, I didn't talk about it in Game of the Year because I thought other games were more deserving, I guess. But this, I probably should have nominated, to be honest with everyone. Mainly because this is the first one where open world made sense to me. I'm going to be absolutely honest. I've played my fair share of open world. I'm looking at you, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and screw you. Forza Horizon did it better. Did it so much better because it's fun. Oh my god, is this game just fun? I'm a car guy. I love cars. One of my favorite things to do, which I'm hoping I'm going to get to do in March, is go to a car show with my dad. I love doing that. And this is the closest thing I have right now to that. And just how these cars feel. The beauty that is the fake Mexico that Turn 10 made is just phenomenal. And it is the best looking damn game of 2021.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say it is the best looking game. It is so much fun. I almost blinded Finn when I gave him footage in HDR. And it is 100% just exactly what I needed. Of just, I don't care. I'm going to listen to some cool tunes. I'm going to drive around. Oh, I want to do that. Cool. I'm going to do that. I got a new car. I'm going to do that. Cool. I got a new car. This is the variety of driving the cars, which every single one of them feel like completely different. And then you put on different tires and they feel completely different, like a car should. My God, do I love Forza Horizon 5.
Honestly, it's Forza. I don't really play many simulation games. To me, Forza is a simulation game. You're simulating driving cars.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that allows you to just shut your brain off a bit.
Yeah.
And feel good. I want to drive this car. I just want to feel the road. I don't get to feel the wind in my face. I'll just turn a fan on and blow it in my face if I want to feel that. If I want to enhance that feeling. But
or the experience.
It is just that type of game where you can just shut things off and enjoy. There's no overly hard boss to face. There's no grand challenge at the end. There's no, sure, you can play with friends, but there's no need to be competitive with anyone. You can just do. You can just play.
Do, play, and go fast. Forza Horizon 5.
So, question.
Yeah.
The only game that I've played that's even in a remotely similar vein to it is The Crew.
Mm.
Would you say that it is basically what The Crew should have been?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, you look at Forza Horizon and this is what makes it so hard for us and Keely and anyone doing Game of the Year talk, where you talk about perfect games and perfect games either existing or not existing. You can't fault Forza Horizon 5.
No.
It is a perfect video game. In terms of what it's trying to do, what it's trying to do every single way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If the goal was, I'm going to make a pretty game where you can drive cars, let's Occam's razor. I'm going to make a pretty game where you can drive cars. Forza Horizon knocked it out of the park. And then you factor in all the fun stuff that you can do for customization when it comes to what you need as a gamer. I cannot wait to turn on the sign language interpreter. I cannot wait to do that. I don't know sign language, but the fact that I have that option, the fact that every gamer has the ability to play this game, whether it is on Xbox or whether it is on PC, is a damn marvel. And I'm with Finn. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of saying something is perfect. F it. Forza Horizon 5 is perfect. It's a perfect game.
Honestly,
Like, it is fun. It is exciting. You can play competitive. You can just drive your ass. I think I've spent about 4 hours just driving around. I'm going to go see what's over there. I'm going to take a picture here. I'm going to do that. I don't do that in video games.
Yeah.
And that's the testament of Turn 10 and Playground, just knocking it out of the park.
They knocked it so far out of the park. They could have easily just made a game with the ultra good 3D models and recreate a fake Mexico, but they went above and beyond and used actual photos and photo realism conversions to make that Mexico the best Mexico it could be.
It's weird when I take a picture and I look at it on my TV and I have to really like
focus to see.
Did I pull this from the internet? Did someone actually take this picture? Or is this me?
It's a ways off, but it makes me so intrigued and so excited by what this studio Playground does with Fable.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing.
The open world expertise they have. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
What is Forza 5 Horizon's engine in? Unreal?
God.
No, it's definitely not Unreal. It's a custom engine, I think.
Yeah, I think it is the Forza engine, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but off the top of my head, I don't remember.
If they're doing this now with a custom Forza engine, what are we going to see when the new Unreal engine hits that can use those ultra realistic photos to convert instant geometry?
Yeah. They're the team that's going to do it. It's going to be great, and I cannot wait. All right, we looked back at 2021. It's been good times. It's time to look forward now. We're in 2022 when this podcast comes out. And
fact checking. It's just called the Forza Tech Engine. So it's
Forza Tech Engine. Okay.
Forza.
And it's the same one from Forza Horizon 4. So it's still an old engine and it looks this good.
So it's as good as the RE engine then, because the RE engine has
just about
done so many different games and
you're
different
putting
varieties.
Capcom up there, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I follow the logic.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, the Forza team hasn't really tackled facial animation, right?
Yeah, no, they haven't. I will say, if there's anything, your character in Forza Horizon 5 is a little, the facial animation, it's fine. It's not something to call home about, but it works. Yeah, you know what you're looking at. You know people are looking when they do have people talking, and it does work.
It lets you customize your character. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You have an avatar. Like, it lets you do that anyway, even though you're a car.
Yeah, it is fully customizable. My guy has a space helmet on when he drives. Why? I don't know. I just got a space helmet on one of my races. It was great. All right, let's look at 2022 before we call it a podcast. And I asked everyone to tell me what they're looking forward to 2022. It could be absolutely anything within the gaming realm. And as always, Keith, I'm going to start with you. What is the one game, event, thing that you are looking forward to in 2022?
Look, I have to apologize. There is no one thing I'm looking for.
That's fair. I that's fine.
Another cheater. All right.
Yes, I am a big fat min-maxing cheater. The thing is, it's honestly that the next year is so stacked with stuff and events and new games for every genre throughout the year. Even just looking at the next 2-3 months, my God, how is anybody going to find the time to do this? It's just, I'm wanting to see what happens. I just want to see who's going to duke it out for that top slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've like been looking through, like I've done a read on my like GG lists of like games and like just updated that stuff. And I've made a list of like 2022 games that I'm remotely interested in, and there's so many.
Stacked. It's so stacked. No, I don't fault you on that one, Keith. I'm kind of the same way. It's going to be crazy for everyone in gaming in 2022. Tim? Tell me yours.
I can't say that I'm like looking forward to it in a positive manner.
Oh god.
Because I really don't know how I'm going to feel about it.
All
but
right,
I
continue.
know that this game is going to be a big deal, and it is going to start fires within its community. And that is Sonic Frontiers.
Ooh.
Oh, not the one I was expecting, but okay, fair enough.
I thought it was about to say Stranger of Paradise, which is about
No,
to set
I
a
thought he
whole
was
bunch of
too. I don't know
garbage
what- I
fires.
don't know where you were going with it. I was like, oh
Sonic,
god.
Sonic Frontiers is going to start fires in that community just the same way that the
Wait
Sonic
for that.
Adventure games did back in the 2000s. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Real talk, I'm really excited for that game. That might be like number 3 on my list of
yeah,
the
it's
games
one
that I
of
know
those
that are
things,
coming
though,
out.
of, like, it is so far outside of the realm of anything they've ever done that I don't know what to expect, good or bad.
I'm so scared. That's
am.
the thing with Sonic, is to me it's so simple. You just make Sonic Mania a game. But they consistently and categorically refuse to do that. And I love that. They're like, no, we're going in this direction. Come
try
on.
something
And I will
different.
say, at least they're still, like, identifiable as Sonic games. Like, for the most part, like, yes, Sega's had, like, their racing games, but for the most part, like, Sega doesn't really treat, at least anymore, they don't really treat Sonic the way Nintendo treats Mario, where they're like, oh, we came up with this new game
With
idea.
respect.
Throw Sonic on it. Well,
Right.
like, they don't throw Sonic at every new game idea because they think he'll sell that game idea.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing about right. Okay, this is a weird like Finn soapbox right now, but like this has always been the thing with Mario and Sonic is you can't equate the two because Mario
No.
is an icon to sell not only a system but Nintendo as a whole. Sonic was a marketing ploy that was pretending to be Mario the whole time, and this is why I truly believe that until Sonic Mania, there has never been one redeemable, one good Sonic game.
Sonic and Knuckles 3.
Yeah, go play Sonic
Bad.
and Knuckles.
Bad game. Bad game. No.
Eat
bad
mine.
game.
Have you played it?
Yes. Bad game. I played all the Sonic 2D games. I played most of the Sonic 3D games. You don't even have to talk about the Sonic 3D games. You can just write them off basically. Sonic Adventure, whatever. But like even the Sonic 2D games, I don't think there was a good Sonic 2D game until Sonic Mania. There was just something about it. It perfected the formula. I don't know what it was. It was because Sonic game design is inherently mean because you're a character that is designed to go fast, but you're moving from the left of the screen to the right of the screen. And for a long time, I thought that was impossible. I was like, even if you go back to 2D, you cannot make a good Sonic game purely because the game design is mean. Something about the design of Mania just made it so much more comfortable, so much more enjoyable, so much more playable, where I was like, why would you make a Sonic game that was anything else other than this? And like the studio, like Sega let go of them. That studio was like moved on. They're making something else that's completely unrelated to Sega. And I'm like, how would you do that? But Sonic Frontiers, to bring it back, I'm totally 100% in on, because even if it's a garbage fire or if it's a perfect 10 out of 10 game, I'm in for it. Because
Okay,
that's
I'm
what
about-
Sonic is now. Even if it's a garbage fire, I'm in.
I'm about to
I will
ruin this
say-
whole man's whole career. Did you even touch the Sonic Advance games?
I didn't
Sonic
touch
Advance
the
was-
advanced games.
Sonic Advance 3 was one I played a lot as a kid. A
Oh my
lot.
God.
Fair enough. I can't speak to the fucking Sonic advanced games.
And to be fair, you say that you can't equate Sonic and Mario, but if I remember correctly, Nintendo literally does that once a year now.
Oh, well,
Sonic
fair
and-
enough. Yeah, but like, fair enough.
Oh, that was the greatest rant I've heard in a while. That was so good. Sonic Frontiers, November
And-
of 2022. That's what I'm saying right
And
now.
that's the first fire, and that game hasn't even had anything said about it
Right.
yet. This
What if
game
it's-
is
what
going
if
to
it's Game of
start
the Year?
fires.
What if that game is just Game of the Year? It could be. Like, you don't know it's not.
You
It
never
could
know.
still start
This-
fires.
Yeah, it could be.
This-
I would love if Sonic Frontiers was Game of the Year of 2022. Like, no one would see that coming. What if it really is the Breath of the Wild, Shadow of the Colossus of Sonic, and it is damn near perfect?
Horizon, Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic Frontier, it beats God of War Ragnarok. No, Sonic Frontiers is the game. Like, I would love that. That would be so insane, but kind of on par for video games.
You
Oh,
know,
man.
I personally, given expectations and stuff, I would love it if it won like a Game of the Year thing. But I would just be satisfied if it redeemed the 3D Sonic era.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to go. I think that is the main goal of Frontiers is just redeem 3D Sonic.
Why does Jeff Keighley's The Game Awards not have a best platformer category? That's what I'm saying. I just thought of that literally just second.
Yeah,
Why does that not
like, we'll have our own best platformer instead of like we'll have game of the year and best platformer. That's what we'll do.
Well,
right now,
we
we're
do-
putting
That's all
together.
we'll do.
Just those two categories.
Yeah, that's just
nothing
us two. Everyone else covers everything else. We can do game of the year because we have to be cool, and then we can do best platformer because no one else does it. That's why you come to now to play games.
What we do is
They're
then
the
we
platform.
trademark best platformer and then sell it to Jeff Keighley for millions of dollars.
Oh, now this is
dude,
big
we'll
brain
get it,
happening.
we'll get it.
This is big brain happening.
I honestly, I wouldn't
Nope.
take millions of dollars, just one appearance on a podcast. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeff Keighley, please come. We love you. Just let us interview you.
But yeah, Tim, I agree. It's going to set fires. It's gonna, people like nukes are going to get dropped. It's going to be so divisive, and I can't wait because I'm actually really, really excited for Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, and that's why I say I don't know that I'm looking forward to it in a positive way, but boy, does it have my attention.
It's going to
I'm
be
here for the
fun.
drama.
All right, Rose, what is your big thing of 2022?
For me, it's gonna be the Steam Deck. I'm very excited for the Steam Deck. I play most of my games. Like, if it is handheld, I am there. The biggest reason that I got an Xbox is because of Game Pass, and I love my indie games. And the fact that I can play Game Pass on the Steam Deck is very exciting to me.
It's gonna be
Like,
fun.
I played a little over 300 hours of my Switch this year, and almost 300 hours was handheld. I think it was 298 hours was handheld and 24 hours docked.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
you're
I mostly
Steam
play
Deck-
handheld.
You're definitely
The
an
Steam
OLED
Deck
user.
could be a
then.
game changer.
Yeah. The Steam Deck is going to be that one that shifts the market of like, oh, people do like handheld games. The Switch is, even though we should know this, the Switch is not a lightning in a bottle. People like that concept. I think the Steam Deck is going to help put the punctuation on that statement. As long as it sells and people can get it. Because I think now it's March February, March 2022 is when it's supposed to come out.
Well, the
So-
first wave.
The
I think
first wave.
some
And then
people have
also you
already
factor
been
in
pushed
Pocket.
into 2023.
Yeah.
I don't even know when ours is coming in.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
that's
we got
the
the
thing,
first
I'm
wave.
like-
I know that.
I feel like Steam Deck could be the thing if it weren't for the hardware
But
shortage.
for those
I feel like
shortages,
that's what's going to kill it.
Oh,
And then factoring in before, I know, Tim, you got something to say, how well the Analog Pocket is being received right now. Handheld gaming is still around, so it's
I
still
need
a
to look
thing.
into
So
one of
between the
those.
Pocket and specifically the Steam Deck, I think we're going to have a very interesting, handheld gaming is a thing. PS Vita 2 confirmed.
Yeah,
I
was
always think about the
legit.
Vita, man.
I was legitimately just gonna ask, like, do we think that this has a chance to bring the Vita back?
I
thought about that a while ago.
I don't know if Sony is ready for another handheld. I would love it if they did, but
Because like
I don't know.
I literally still have mine right here.
Nice.
I
think-
personally think.
I'm
I was gonna say
Sorry,
I
go ahead,
personally.
you go ahead.
I'm gonna beat you. So I personally think the Vita could make a return as a different, like a successor to the Vita. What we are going to see is something that will further integrate with the PlayStation. No more UMD, no more SSD stuff. Just something that purely interfaces as a remote play for the PS4 and PS5. So you don't have to have extreme hardware in it. So you can just stream your PlayStation and take those games on the go as well.
This is what I was going to say, is I think they'd be wise to do like a standalone Vita 2, like just really try and knock down that price as much as possible. But I think what PlayStation's strategy is right now is probably the same as Xbox's, where they're just going to ride it out into the cloud as a thing. I feel like they're like, yeah, why would we invest all this money into making a new standalone local handheld system when the cloud might be here in a while and everyone could just play on their phones anyway, you know?
I say
I
no.
feel like they were burned too badly by the Vita, even though the Vita was a great system.
Bro, stop showing off your excessively large phone.
Yeah, and that's what that's what I would have said too, Keith, about the Vita is like a few years ago, where I would have been like, "Hey, make it basically like just an extension of your PS5." But now, because so few people have access to a PS5, I'm like, well, maybe that's not such a good idea. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a Vita is in the cards. I think they have the PS5 and they know that's successful. And I think now the additional thing that they're exploring on top of that is VR exclusively. I don't think they have room for an additional piece of hardware on top of that. So I think the only space they're willing to explore that's like uncommon ground for them is VR.
That's actually what I was going to say. I was going to say there's no chance in hell. I think VR is the place that they're going to be pushing, because now we're in that point of teraflops and games need to look damn near perfect, and Unreal 5 and all this crap that I don't think that you could logistically go from on a PlayStation side with that's the marketing that you're pushing to go, oh, we're doing a handheld concept that can be better than the Switch, but it's a downgrade visually. And I don't think that's what Sony wants to do
you think
anymore.
They're going to go for the premium market.
Yeah, you would have to go for the premium market, and that thing is going to be just expensive as all get out. And I don't see Sony literally doing that. I think it makes more sense for them to test. They've got the VR market. They're expanding on that VR market with some of their acquisitions that they got. And I think we will probably see PSVR 2 this year. And I think they've just kind of ridden off Vita 2 or the successor or anything like that, because it just logistically, money-wise, marketing-wise, just does not make sense to them anymore.
Yeah, well, and also, I just have to say that even if they did make a Vita 2, the only way it would succeed is if they got over these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would have to.
Memory should
stupid.
be dead.
Right.
Yeah, they'd have to get rid of that. Now that's where I'm very interested with Xbox, because their external memory card, or their memory card, is proprietary, and how that's working. So when you have the SSD for the PlayStation, so time will tell on that one and how well that actually will work for them.
To wrap it up on this discussion, I just want to make one final point
Okay.
where I feel like Xbox is in such a great position, whereas Sony, you'd have to be like, to make this work, we'd have to make our own handheld, and we'd have to sell that, and we'd have to make software for that as well, which is another whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
For Xbox, I feel like they're in such a unique position where they're like, we don't give a fuck about hardware. Why don't we take the Steam Deck and make an official Xbox Game Pass integration for the Steam Deck? Because we don't care how many hardware units we sell. We don't even care how many Xboxes we sell. We just care about subscriptions.
Yes.
And that's the thing with, again, with them with VR, it's we don't need to make our own VR hardware headset unit to compete with everyone else in the market.
Yeah,
We'll make integrations for all those things, and then just add a VR section to Game Pass and put a bunch of VR games on there. That's how far ahead they are of the curve. I don't know if Steam Deck would allow, obviously you can just install Windows on there because it's just a PC, and you could make Game Pass work on it, and that's exactly what I'd do if I had a Steam Deck. But I don't know if they'd allow an official quote unquote first party integration, because Steam probably sees Game Pass as a competitor, and they're like, hey, if they're playing these indie games on a Game Pass, they're going to buy them on Steam.
Yeah.
But that's probably why that isn't happening. But Xbox can just put their little subscription service on everything they can, and
their cloud service works. So I mean, you can play on your phones and whatnot. So it's going to be very interesting.
How it's on my giant phone, and I can.
It's on your giant phone.
I can pair a Bluetooth controller and I can play games from the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no point to make hardware unless you're Nintendo.
I want to.
If you're pretty confident in your internet
but
and you've never tried xCloud, try it, because it's much better than you expect, honestly.
We'll get that set up. All right, Finn.
Personally,
go ahead.
I was going to say, personally, to wrap it up a little bit, Rose has spent 300 hours on her Switch and handheld, and me and Tim were literally discussing this the other night, that we mainly use our Switches as portable RPG machines.
Exactly.
So because we can take our 40-hour experience somewhere else, so we don't have to play it docked.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's the pure joy of the Switch and just handheld gaming in general. So no, I agree.
The Switch is the best sick in bed console.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Yeah. All right, Finn. I see what you put for what you're looking forward to. So, talk to me about this. What really?
This was a hard one, because there's so many games to look forward to. There's the possibility of E3 had a weird 2 years 3 years, 5 years even say, what's it going to be this year? What's the Game Awards going to be like next year? What's Summer Games Fest going to be like this year? What's just gaming in general? What's Activision Blizzard going to be like this year? And it's been so that this has been the hardest thing for me to like answer in your like little question rather the show thing.
Yeah.
And I thought about it and I was like, man, trying to encapsulate it all, I went with the Fantasy Critic 2022 league. Because like there's several things to that. There's so many great looking games coming out this year that we already know about at this stage, never mind what's gonna appear later down the line.
Yeah.
Plus, they're adding a bunch of new features, they're adding a bunch of new like weird tricks we can do, and also like how the Fantasy League went this year. I know, like, not to like throw shade, but Tim and Keith sort of went down in the ranks, but how close it was at the top. Like, was it like 0.2 points separating you two?
So for a little bit, yeah, Rose and I, we were separated by 0.02 points. Now Rose has me by like half a point.
Oh damn.
Yeah, like, it'll be
domination.
Fun because now Tim and Keith actually understand how this game works. So
Yeah,
this year
well,
is going to
and
be a
also-
damn bloodbath.
Also, like, I just didn't have time to keep up with it at the end of the year. I still had like a blank slot, but you know, by the end of the year, you're like, what do I even
Yeah, what do you pick up?
pick up?
Yeah, the Fantasy League is so much fun.
But even at the bottom of the ranks, Keith and I were pretty close. Keith had it on me until like literally the last week,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Like, and then I flipped because of like Halo Infinite and Pokemon.
Which one was the really bad one? Was it Story of Seasons or Harvest Moon? Which one was the really
that's
bad one?
that's both the same, or well, it was Harvest Moon for sure.
You guys picked
I
up
thought
one of each, and like
Yeah.
one was really bad.
Yeah.
Harvest
It was
Moon was
Harvest
the one
Moon.
that was really bad.
Yeah.
That was the one that
Yeah.
like just got set on fire by the Harvest Moon community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And honest-
that's fun. I'm going to say right now, look forward to the stream of us picking our fantasy teams because it's going to happen. We're going to talk so much trash. John's going to put a foot in his mouth.
You know, it's one of those things. I did enjoy it. You know, I don't mind losing. I just wanted to show that, like, hey, some of my RPGs are actually pretty good. You know, the outlets might review them bad, but despite what they say, you know, these are good.
Right, but you
And
also
I still
picked-
haven't gotten my Fantasian points, you butthead.
You'll get your 5.
Right,
Don't
but
worry
you
about
also
it.
picked- You also picked Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and Prince of Persia Sands of Time.
Yeah, we need to talk about your
Those
picks,
were
my friend.
two of your picks.
Hey, don't judge.
We'll review it all whenever we get to the stream.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my
It'll
God.
be- oh god, we really will go like review our pickups and then oh god, it's gonna be a great stream. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm going to
All
put
right.
you all on blast. I'm going to put you all on blast for your picks.
That's fine.
How it's going to happen.
Yeah. Remember, I'm the only one that didn't lose points, so screw you guys.
I'm
John.
sorry. Who won though, despite losing
Shut
the
up,
most
get out of here.
points?
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. What you
Yeah,
doing? All
I
right.
mean,
Go ahead.
if I remember correctly, did I not counterpick Breath of the Wild off of you?
Me? No, I didn't pick
was
Breath of the
that
Wild.
thing?
I knew it
No,
wasn't coming
I
out.
picked.
Yeah,
I went hard on the draft.
Yeah. And I was like, there's no way in hell that is coming out.
And honestly, these next year's draft picks, while we do have quite a few tentative dates, we still have a lot in that solid first 3 months that have set dates that are big hits.
Elden Ring,
Windjammers is
right
going to be
there.
a 10 out of 10.
Right there. Windjammers 2.
Windjammers
It
2 is coming out in like 3 weeks.
John, the 20th of January.
On,
It was
on Xbox Game Pass, by the way.
It was less than 3 weeks from beating this year. I would have won. I would have won.
And it comes down to that. Who's going to go first this year? Their first choice is going to dictate the pace.
It's going to be
Is-
crazy. Yep.
as first choice, last place.
We got to talk about that, actually. That
We
might
need
be
to
something.
determine
That's something we
There
might
are
have to
lo-
talk
there-
about here. a little
because
bit.
they've added so many features as well. We need to determine a lot of
Yeah,
rules before
yeah.
we do that stream.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I
Uh,
will say that stream also gave us one of my favorite clips of this year,
Yeah.
What?
which
If you-
is
so. Yeah, Tim said it.
me saying in stream, anybody who picks Final Fantasy
That's
16
right.
is psychotic.
And what the
then
hell do you do?
Very first message I get after that stream is Tim, you rat.
And
You fucking rat is, I think, the words I quote it. Because you picked up Final Fantasy 16 for like $1. Like,
no,
I still
it from me.
that clip. I still have that clip somewhere too.
He stole the bid from me because I bid a small amount, thinking because I had the same idea as Tim.
I think I did like 25 or something.
Yeah,
because
I knew he was
with my $69 I kept.
Past you was right. You were psychotic for picking Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah. And that was like a big part of my plan this year. I was like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, that's always fun to do in Fantasy League. Is just go for it.
Oh, please God,
I felt like I was doing that at the start, and then I started to do well, and I was like, okay, I could win this.
Yeah, like and you know, I feel like I got what I expected. Like the list I picked was basically either I'm gonna win big or I'm gonna lose big.
Yeah. That was a good way to do it.
Harvest Moon, man.
Harvest Moon. Oh my God. All right. It wouldn't be a video game podcast. I was gonna say E3, but it would not be a video game podcast if I didn't say my thing that I'm looking forward to is Breath of the Wild 2. I'm changing it right at the fly. I have to say it. It is Breath of the Wild 2. It is coming out in 2022. Mark it down on your calendars. Your Uncle John is saying Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out in November. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Christmas
for
game.
Next year's podcast where he says the most anticipated game for 2023 is Breath of the Wild.
You know what? Mark it down. Someone remind me next year when we do this again, where we look back and Breath of the Wild doesn't come out. I'm going to say it again. In 2023, Breath of the Wild 2 is the most anticipated thing.
It's going to be in 2024 and 2025.
We just talked about the Fantasy League. I was so sure it was coming out this year.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, I'm not sure it's coming out this year.
I don't know how I feel because we might not have a name, but we do have patents.
Yeah, I've seen those. Right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and we've seen gameplay.
We've seen gameplay.
Yeah.
Has anybody checked the ESRB website though? Because it's coming soon when it has an official ESRB rating.
You know, Keith, I check it every day and there's nothing. You know, like I'm on that. First thing I wake up in the morning is go to esrb.com.
And I go to the Taiwanese ESRB because that's where everything gets leaked.
Yeah,
that is true.
Okay, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, yes, I think it's coming out in 2022. I think it's coming out in November. If it doesn't come out, it's coming out on the new Switch, whatever the hell that's going to be called.
Look,
there's no way.
It's going to be a fight between me and Tim, who picks up Strangers of Paradise, because I'm waiting for that Limp Bizkit Final Fantasy.
Oh my God! Please don't get that. Please don't get that. I'm looking at you as a friend who loves you. For the love of God, please don't get that.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Here's the worst part, though, John.
Yeah,
the demo was fun.
You're gonna love that game. You personally are going to love that game.
I played the demo and I hate it. I was like, this is so much bullshit.
You're totally right. Like, he's a piece of shit. He's gonna love that game.
You know what? That I will like do my best to make that a game that I stream or record just for you, John, so that you can see the potential. Because I know nothing will like get your attention more than seeing the height of the potential of a Souls-like game. No, a Souls-like game.
I mean, I want to make a bet. The potential of a Souls game is just it always makes me hot, as Finn says it. It always gets my jimmies going. So
I want to make the first bet of the new year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
God damn it. I was trying to get us out of this. All right, do it.
I bet you 10 gift subs to Couch Capades.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
That you will enjoy this game.
Oh. That's such a lofty.
He's willing to pay just about the price of the game.
When did you guys turn around on this?
Yeah, like that's what I want to.
When we played the demo together.
So the thing is, also like, I'm still gonna give this game shit
because
it's like a cursed meme of a game, but like sometimes the cursed memes are like the most fun you have too.
Right. Okay, so here's where I start picking grievances, right? Because I don't get y'all, right? At E3. When we first saw this game, I was like, there's no way this game fails in its first showing. Because on paper, it's perfect. It's... who's developing it? It's the people behind...
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory.
No, it's not Ninja Theory. It's
Team
Ninja. It's Team Ninja.
Team Ninja. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Team Ninja.
It's Team Ninja who made Nioh. It's a basically remake of Final Fantasy 1 or a retelling or whatever way you want to say it.
We still don't know, actually.
And it's a fucking Souls-like game. I was like, on paper, there is no way this doesn't hit. And you were like, oh, I don't know. It's a meme. It's like, it doesn't rub me the right way. And now that, like, the memes are out and, like, everyone's hating this game, you're like, John, you're going to love it.
Look, I thought I was going to hate it, but Tim and our friend Danny, known as Strider in our chats, when he comes by, we played this game together. We get to, like, one of the first ending scenes in the first boss. We are watching the cutscene, and super seriously, the main character takes out his phone and starts playing Limp Bizkit music.
Yeah, yes! Like Final Fantasy 1 and like Final Fantasy 1, and this character turns around after finding out the final boss of the first area isn't Chaos. He pulls out his phone, goes bullshit, and starts playing butt rock.
So,
maybe this game knows exactly what it is then.
Is Strangers of Paradise going to be the second game ever to add Fred Durst as a playable character? Because, let me get this right, I think it's SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, you can play as Fred Durst. Because he does the entrance music for the Undertaker, like keep rolling, and he comes on the motorbike, and Fred Durst is in that video game. Can I make, John? I know you're like in agony right now.
I am.
Can I make one final statement before we roll out of this segment?
Sure. I was about to just jump. Like I was finding that point. Like, all right, that was it. But yeah, all right. I gave it to Keith. I'll give it to you. This
will be the be all and end all for this, right?
Okay.
It may be because I'm half a bottle of whiskey in, right? And I might regret this later, but I'm going to say this.
Okay.
In one of my draft picks is for this year's Fantasy League is going to be Skull and Bones.
Okay.
I've put full faith in that game coming out in 2022.
If he can put full faith in Skull and Bones.
Wait, hang on.
Skull and Bones.
So Skull and Bones is at the top of that list. And Ubisoft is having one of the biggest employee exoduses in gaming history right now.
Right. Skull and Bones.
Cheers
with that,
to the death of our career. Oh my God,
I'm getting out of this right now. This has been a very special Now to Play Games podcast. Thank you so much for watching the video version on the Now to Play Games YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. We really want to get that URL. All you podcast listeners out there, give us a follow, give us a review. You know how this works. Tell your friends to listen to Now to Play Games because you've got 5 friends who all over the world who want to talk about video games and make stupid bets, and we're going to follow through on that one. You guys are the absolute best. And with that, I'm John. That is Tim, Keith, Finn, and Rose. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Now go play some games, and we'll see you next week.
I don't have hands.
All I'm saying is think of how much you enjoyed Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. That's all I'm saying. Think of how much you enjoyed that game.